What's going on, everyone? So, let's talk about five people to avoid when you're trying to build wealth, and five people or types of people that are will unstabilize you financially. So, before we get into this, it's very important because if you don't know, I lost $300,000 just because I didn't avoid some of these people and some of these things. Now, it's very important to make sure you avoid very toxic people, people who use you, and everything else like that. And I'm one of those people that likes to give people a benefit of doubt and try to be as trustworthy as I can. So I fall for a lot of these people, and I always try to help people. So to help you to build wealth, you kind of have to avoid these people, or you are going to end up taking longer or in financial ruins because people are two-faced sometimes. People aren't really your friends, they're just there for your financial help. So before we get into all that, you know, relationship with other people and type of people, unfortunately, is often those relationships that will not choose, that can be determined to your detrimental to your financial progress. And let's get into this. Number one, the relentless borrower. Can I borrow a few dollars? No, these individuals always seems to be financially trouble, always looking for money, always looking for help. And I fell for this. You know, I tell you right now, I give people money. I stop loaning out money because, you know, they just don't repay back. And that's one of the red flags for one of these people. You know, they rarely will pay your loans back. They don't take steps to improve their financial situation. You give them $500 and they're going to come back to you. They don't want to get a job. They don't want to get an education. They're not working to strive to improve themselves. So if you have a relentless borrower that doesn't want to improve themselves, hey, you need to make sure you distance yourself from them. They can very little they care very little about their relationship with you, and they prioritize immediate wants over everything else. And those are the relentless borrowers. So, the red flags. They rarely repay their loans or repay your money back. They don't take steps to improve their financial situations, and they can care very little about the relationship with you, and they just prioritize the money you're giving them. Now, the solution to this is to set boundaries. Offer financial advice or non monetary support instead of giving them money. Like, recommend them for a better job, get them a second job, tell them how to make extra money. You do those things. And that's some of the solutions that I have been doing for this situation. Because if you help someone, it's not just about giving them money, you can also help them get a better job or improve themselves. Number two, the naysayer. These these people are always discouraging your financial ambition and criticize any effort you try to build wealth. You tell them, "Hey, I'm gonna go on a budget." They start mocking you that you're gonna go on a budget. They start mocking you because you're trying to be frugal, or they start making fun of you because you're trying to be an entrepreneur, and they're saying, "Hey, you can't do it. You're not smart enough. You're in this. I done it and I failed." Look, those are the people you want to avoid because the naysayers are going to slow you down. And some of the red flags you can have is, why are you working so hard? Life is short. You need to live life a little. Or they dismiss any long term goals you try to set. They're saying it's unrealistic, it's boring. Like, let's say you tell someone, "Hey, I want to buy a house," and they started to down talk, "Oh, it's unaffordable, it's not reasonable." Those are the type of situation you want to avoid because they're going to make you think negative about it, and it's not really going to be very helpful. And these are the people that also jealous and envy of other people because they worked towards a goal and actually did something with their life. Now, The best solution to this is surround yourself with people who share the same financial vision as you. If you start doing that, you start getting motivation, they give you help, and you get in a better situation. Number three, and I fell for this because I didn't know any better, is the big baller. These are the people that look wealthy, act wealthy, but behind closed doors, they're financially struggling. And this person lives a very flashy lifestyle. You always see them taking trips. You always see them um, driving fancy cars. They're always upgrading their items. And in hindsight, they probably broke behind closed doors and you don't even know it. Because let's say, for example, you have a coworker that makes about the same amount you, but somehow they go on to 3 trips a year. They always have the nicest cars. They are living this lavish lifestyle, but they make the same amount of money as you. And one of the things you can do, if someone tells you the job title or what they do, a quick Google search can tell you how much they actually make. It's not accurate, but it's the ballpark. Like if I tell you I'm a biomedical engineer and the average salary of a biomedical engineer is X, which you see on the screen, then you can say, hey, yeah, he roughly makes this. That's how he can afford these things. Now, some of the red flags they do is they laugh at you because you're trying to live frugal to get a better lifestyle for yourself. Or they look at your old car and say, hey, man, you should just upgrade that piece of junk, even though you got plenty of life left on the car. I drive an old Nissan Altima and I'm happy with it because what do people do with vehicles? Drive to work and go home. Do you really need a fancy car to do that? I think it's a waste of money. But some people get those fancy cars for status. Now, they invite you to excess or activity that is exceeding your budget, and that's another red flag. You have some of those friends that says, hey, let's rent out a boat and we can split it 4 ways, or hey, let's take this trip to Vegas and stay in um this high rise. Those are the people you want to try to avoid, and you want to try to live your life in your budget so you can be financially stable and grow your wealth. Now, they live to take pictures. You know these people that any fancy things they see, they take pictures of, they take selfies, they like take group pictures and photos with celebrities. And you just want to avoid these people because while you're trying to grow your wealth, they're going to drain your money. And that's the one thing you want to do. So avoid draining your money. Now, the solution is to politely decline these expensive outings and stick to your financial planning and spending more time with frugal friends. I'm not saying you have to cut them off, but hey, you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. So, number four is the drama king or queen. These people live to with problems and issues, and this is the issue with them. They're very irresponsible and they don't want to take responsibility or accountability for anything they do. So these are the people you want to avoid because what's going to happen? They're going to get you into a situation where lawsuit or relationship problems are going to happen. I have an issue with a old friend that he got into a situation with a girl, and I found out through my wife through a message that she might be underage, she might not be, while they were in a relationship. Now, I didn't know anything, so I did what? I stepped away and avoided the situation because, hey, that's not my life. And they made a big deal, crying, complaining. I'm like, hey, I don't live that lifestyle. I don't know what you're talking about. I live a very stable lifestyle with my wife. I'm not one of those people who are going out and chasing women, so I don't know. So I avoided the situation. It was the solution, but hey, let's look at some of the red flags. Frequently, emergencies that requires your time, energy, or your money. And I had that issue with some people that they frequently need help, frequently have issue, and it takes too much of your time. Your solution is just avoid them and stay away from them. The number 5 is the broke know-it-all. We all know that broke person that knows it all. And the red flags are they give you financial advice that's poorly constructed and uniform. And they promote high risk and unethical financial practice, and they have a proven financial track record of losing money and chasing these high dreams. Now, the bottom line is these are the 5 people you want to avoid while you're trying to build up your wealth. Now, doesn't mean that they're bad people. Now, what you can't do is try to help yourself by whenever you get wealthy. Is what you can do now is, let's say you are stable and you build your wealth. You can have these friends, they're not bad people, but you try to limit your time with them so they don't hurt you financially. That leads me into the 5 type of people who can potentially harm your financial stability. And it sounds very similar, but let's say you are finally financially stability, you built your wealth you want to be at. And the number 1 person you want to avoid is those who overspend, and you already know who they are. They spend more than they earn and can lead you back to financial strain. So let's try to avoid them if you ever make it to financial stability. Number 2 is the investor who takes on risky investment. The reason why I say to avoid these people that can potentially harm your financial stability is because let's say they find out you're financially stable and they want you to get into this house flipping. But it's a really risky one because you don't really know about real estate, you don't really know about the market in the area, so it's highly risky. And you could go upside down on a flip very easily. So you don't want to be associated with that and your money. So, number 3, people who avoid saving and investing. You got to your situation by however you did it, so you don't want to deal with people who don't have savings account and don't have investments. Because if you're financially stable, have investments in a 401k, maybe have a rental property, you don't want to have people around you that doesn't have any of it, because they might put you in a situation where you lose one of your properties or lose some of your money in your investments. So, guess what? You have to avoid them because they might end up making you lose the money in those situations. And number 4, those who are negative attitude towards money. Now, that's the type of person you want to avoid where you try and grow financially, but I figured to add it in the financial stability because you are going to avoid them when you try and grow in your wealth, but you're still going to have those people in your financial stability. Try and you need to avoid them. Why? Because they're negative and they're going to impact your mentality and make you look at money negatively. Number 5 is people who engage in financial scam or fraud. That's just plain and simple. You deal with anyone that deals with financial fraud or scamming, they will end up ruining your financial situation due to lawsuit or litigations. So, hey, those are my 5 people you need to avoid when trying to grow wealth, and 5 types of people you need to avoid whenever you become stability with your finance. Like, subscribe to my video, and thanks for watching.